Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Broken Together podcast. I'm Josh,
And I'm Melody.
and we are here for a very special season one finale. And we have a special guest today.
We do have a special guest, I will say. Very special.
We're gonna pull back the curtain and reveal.
I don't know who the special guest is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is, what is his full name on the podcast?
I think it is Sir Editor Master Chief
Oh,
Dang, okay.
Sound Engineer Timothy.
Sound guy Tim, yes. Hello, everyone.
that's what I thought he was going to say, but.
Short Sound Guy Tim, yes.
Yeah, then short sound guy Tim. But hello, everyone. I'm sound guy Tim. I'm sure most of you actually know me, and when you finally see this, you're gonna be like, "Oh, it's that guy."
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
your,
yeah. It's that guy. Yeah,
Oh, I've seen that guy.
yeah,
yeah.
you're going to get a lot of that for sure.
yeah, for sure.
Yes, Tim was part of the first youth group that we were here helping with,
Mm-hmm.
and he kind of just landed in the room around the same time we did,
Mhm.
and was like, I could hang out in here. But he was already a senior, so
Mhm.
we only hung out with him as a youth for a year, and then
It's
Yeah.
like 4 months, 5 months, because I showed up in November.
yeah,
Mhm.
actually it wasn't even a whole year.
You're in that small group of individuals that came as a senior, we fell in love with as a senior, and now we hang out after that.
Yeah.
So, Victoria, our previous episode, is a part of that as well.
Yeah, just landed in the room, started helping, and then okay, well I'm graduating now, so
And it was like, but no, not yet. So,
this is the man who brought the amazing bizcochos that I was assaulted for.
Oh yes.
Years ago.
Now that it's on record, Sam did push Josh. I saw it. They both ran at me, and he pushed Josh. There was no gentle shove. It was.
you know what's funny is that we're going to have to go over the lore of the whole season because there's just so much of it that I'm going to have to do
yes, there is.
like a side short. All right, so here's the lore.
So this is how this happened.
So, but all right, you had chosen something different today, which is good.
Yes.
But
You're a good man for this.
We've had a lot of chicken, I will say.
We've had a lot of chicken.
Mhm.
We've had a lot of bad chicken.
You know what? And just
Unless Canes wants to sponsor,
then they're fine.
then it's great.
No, bro.
That's
You're
great.
just gonna chill.
But
Come on, bro.
oh,
Look, that doesn't happen.
see, that's what you
Yeah.
get. But you chosen Dave's hot chicken.
Yes, I chose real chicken today. No flavorless chicken
It
that
is-
needs to be sauced to be enjoyable. No, I bought actual chicken that tastes good.
If your
I
chicken
mean-
doesn't look like this, you're not doing it right.
I mean,
Also, like one of these tenders is the size of like all 3 Cane's tenders. So come on.
that's
Okay.
true, I guess. Yeah, I
This
did
is a
get
full
small
tender.
ones.
It is seasoned.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this didn't have flavor, I'd be shocked. Imagine this tasting like Canes. There's no way.
There's no way.
He goes in for the bite. Yes.
I will
see
say,
it.
you said that it doesn't need sauce. However,
Mhm.
it is coated with a sauce.
It's not coated with a sauce. It's coated with powder, spice.
This is
There's
powder.
a difference. It's not
Nashville
sauce.
chicken is made by putting hot oil over a bunch of really hot spices.
No, I know. Yeah.
And then it's poured over
Nashville
this chicken.
is different.
It's not a
I will
sauce.
acknowledge that.
They do
But
have
if
a
let's
sauce.
say we tried just like the original, I've heard the original is not great. I've heard that the no spices is not great.
Okay, but you don't go to a place called Dave's Hot Chicken and be like, let me get no spice. Like,
I mean, you
Let me
go
get
to
the cauliflower
Cane's for-
chicken with no spice. Oh, and then on top of that, we got sodas from Sonic.
That's
because-
a staple here at Calvary.
Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, we're always getting some Sonic drinks because it's right close to us. But
Yeah,
it's because Dave's doesn't have a combo fountain drink deal when you take it to go. So
for sure.
all in all, good chicken.
Oh yeah, very flavorful. I got the mild. I didn't even.
you heard it first, the Canes fan saying this chicken is more flavorful.
It is flavorful. Cane's is flavorful. But I did get the mild. I didn't get anything spicier than that. I don't think I can handle anything spicier than that.
No, since we're recording, I didn't go spicy because
We were very close to doing a really bad knockoff of Hot Ones.
Yeah, the Dave's Hot Chicken has something called
The Reaper.
the roulette.
Oh, the
Hot
roulette box?
roulette.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh.
that would have been fun.
The roulette
No,
box would
that
have
would
been
not have
very
been
fun. But
All right. So we did an icebreaker all throughout the season.
Mhm.
We're gonna do an icebreaker with you.
Oh boy.
We're doing classic Gen Z dictionary, and so I need you to tell us what a face card is.
Oh, what?
A
a
face
face
card.
card.
I have
No.
no idea what that is. I'm thinking like an actual set of cards. And
No.
I'm thinking like a Jack, Queen, King.
No.
Like that's what I'm thinking.
Mm.
No.
What is a face card?
They usually just it's describes how someone looks. So people will be like, "Oh, their face card is 10 out of 10 or something like that." That's
Yeah.
what that is.
Okay. Interesting.
Think about it
So
like an ID.
I don't think it's an ID. No.
No, am I even?
No, no.
I'm
It's
off
just
too.
how they look.
Never mind. Don't think about
Just
it
their
like
face card.
Just Maranatha. That's
Oh
it.
my
Jesus,
goodness.
come quickly. Jesus, come quickly.
But yeah, I
You
just
too love
wanted
the
to
butchering of the English language.
No,
I
I
wanted to
don't.
stump someone. We didn't stump a lot of people.
No, yeah, most of them knew like what we were
Well, they're
talking
all
about.
kids.
Yeah,
Except for
exactly.
Big Dog.
But we asked him about the speakers he's been listening to. So.
Yeah. No,
What
actually,
speakers are you listening to?
I was actually gonna ask, um, what music are you listening to?
Hmm.
Because you have a nice, interesting take on Christian music or music in general.
The Christian music take is gonna get me fired.
Let's go. It's all right. We'll keep you on our staff, and you can get paid what we get paid.
We're not recording or anything.
Yeah,
It's
no,
fine.
totally not recording. This isn't going on YouTube. Sean's not gonna watch this. Yeah. I mean, lately I've been getting more into Christian music just because I finally found the right stuff. Because to me, most worship music is just the same four chords, very boring, just bland. Which I understand it's to worship God. So in proper context and service,
Sky Daddy.
yeah, in proper
Wow.
proper context and service, okay, yes, that works. It's fine. But then once I go home, I'm like, I need my brain needs something more. So oddly enough, our resident not metal man, Oscar, is the one who got me on a good Christian metal band called
Nice.
Theocracy.
Oh yeah,
That was a good find. I was surprised, but
a little power metal.
little power metal. Then got into War of Ages, some more heavy stuff.
War of
Stuff
Ages
that-
is
yeah,
so sick.
indeed. Sadly, I don't have that shirt yet.
The
If
flaming
not, if
dove.
not, if not, I would have wore that today. But I mean, that's my take. I listen to a lot of metal. I
But
on top
isn't
of
it
that,
from the devil?
Oh,
Big question.
some of it
mark.
is
Big question.
Some
marks.
of it is. Some of it is. But I do very much like look and look into the bands themselves and what the actual lyrics are saying, and then from there I go. And then on top of that, most of the metal I listen to is power metal, so it's just like nerdy fantasy stuff.
Mm,
So
Nice.
yeah,
yeah,
Alrighty.
yeah. Because we've had a lot of kids recently that are like struggling with the music,
Mhm.
and so they either don't try to find like good Christian music that's worth listening to, and they just kind of go with like whatever's out there, and they'll just monitor it.
Mhm.
I think there's a setting on, I think there's a setting on Spotify that you can take out everything that has like explicit content,
yes, you can.
right?
Yeah, probably.
And so I've heard a couple of our kids do that, and so they'll listen to like the cleaner versions of whatever. And then some of them have been they're metalheads, but they're like, I don't know what to listen to because all this stuff that we were listening to was bad. But then when you look other stuff up, it's like really corny.
Yeah.
And so like you have to be able to find stuff. And I'm someone who I get bored with music very quickly. Like I've got a million different playlists of a million different things. Some of it Christian, some of it not. But like
Country.
yeah, I've got like a big country playlist. I've
Would
got
have never known.
Never. Me, the cowboy, listening to country, weird.
Crazy.
Yeah. But I've got a big country list. I've got like a big like punk rock
Yeah,
list. 'Cause
yeah.
that's what I was listening to in high school. I was a big Blink 182 guy. I was not a cowboy back then.
No.
You just dated all of us. I'd say he
It's
wasn't a Blink
true,
182 in high
yeah.
school.
Eesh, yikes. But yeah, so I have to rotate like music.
Yeah, our
Very
kiddos are gonna be like,
often.
who?
Who, me? Yeah. So I think like there needs to be more good Christian music, whether it's metal, whether it's rap, whether it is just kind of like standard contemporary stuff, like whatever. There needs to be stuff that is not just worship.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because like worship is not a music type. Worship is a state of mind, and
Yes.
everything we do is supposed to be in worship to God anyway. But when all these bands that are super talented are just putting out like church worship music, then it like creates, I don't know, then there's like all the debates, and then it's like, well, this isn't really worship. This is more like a concert, and this is that, and this is that. And all of that is valid. And so it just makes it kind of hard to like land somewhere when it's like, I don't want to listen to oceans while I'm driving on the freeway. Like, I don't want to be like called out to deepest waters while I'm 75 miles an hour down the left
You
lane
wanna,
on
like, raise
Texas.
both hands and just let Jesus take the wheel.
Yeah, Jesus,
Just-
take the wheel.
I've done that before.
Yeah. No. She's watched Hannah Montana like while she's driving to
Okay.
UTEP.
Watching full movies, yeah.
I mean, it was a long drive.
It was a long
to UTEP.
drive.
You're supposed to have your eyes on the road.
It was a long
I know,
drive.
and I was 20, so that was like, that's just not
Okay.
In the little
not
Fiat,
wise.
in the
But
little tuna can,
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
my what?
in the tuna can.
Oh yeah, my Fiat.
Yeah.
Love my Fiat. But anyway, no, that's not what I was gonna say. One time, there was just a lot of like emergency vehicles passing by us, and I was asking the passengers, I was like, if you guys can pray, lift those people up, because it looked like a severe accident. And I was the one driving. And so they started praying. I started praying as well. And then I was like, oh, wait, I should probably not be praying.
Hey, are you praying?
Or like praying with my eyes open on the road. Yeah. There was probably gonna be another accident that happened that day for sure.
Hey, but the paramedics were already there.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I've done that
Right.
before for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there needs to be more good Christian music, and so I know you're a connoisseur of good music, and you went through that whole thing yourself of trying to figure out what's good and what's not.
Yeah.
What can I listen to? Like,
It was an interesting time, but that is where I found most of those bands. So I guess for any children, youth who are looking for Christian metal, Theocracy, War of Ages. I don't know. Well, you agree with this one? For Today, I just found them
love for
like
today.
a week or two ago. If you
Yeah,
want
that
like
also-
the heavier stuff.
That also dates me because we used to listen to that in our youth group,
Mhm.
like playing games, and it was like, ooh,
If you want to laugh, listen to Shekinah by Saving Grace.
Shekinah, the Shekinah glory.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So much good stuff out there.
Mhm.
It just takes a little hunting, right?
Just a little bit. It's not something that you hear on Caleb or like
No,
a
not at all.
normal radio.
Mm.
So
No, this ain't no Toby Mac. Hits deep.
I was gonna say though, Toby Mac is, I think it's pretty good music.
Toby Mac was the first Christian artist I ever heard.
Nice.
Back,
Right.
I forget what that album was. The one with it's like black and green
Portable sounds.
portable sounds.
I've never actively listened to Toby Mac.
No?
Just when I'm in a certain Nino's car, going 90 down the highway because he can't drive.
You would play Toby Mac?
His mix is everything. It goes
Oh.
from Toby Mac to
NSYNC.
what is it? VeggieTales to like some movie
Not the
soundtracks.
silly
like that.
songs with Larry.
Yeah, silly songs.
Oh,
with
that's
Larry.
right. Movies
To
and
Weird Al.
musical theater, right?
You know who you are. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Musical theater. Yeah.
We're not gonna name him by name,
No,
but his
I don't
name
want to give.
rhymes
I don't
with-
want to give him that power.
Was
I
it,
don't,
great,
I don't
was
want to
it
say his name.
Greatest Showman?
Does he really?
Yes, he's in
That's
so many musicals. That man.
I love that. I love that seed. I love that soundtrack. So that is funny.
You understand?
Oh, for sure, it hits.
Dang, you just sided with him.
Dang.
Wow. You heard it here first.
The thing is that
He's
I'm
gonna put a
only-
comment now and be
there's
like,
cameras.
finally.
There's cameras in front of me.
Yeesh.
So, but anyway, we're not gonna get to that yet.
Oh,
Timothy's.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
We're gonna start with the season.
Yes, yeah. So,
So,
well, go ahead.
well, I was gonna
I
say
don't know how you wanted to form that one.
we've had a lot of different personalities for sure. I love that we had an age range for sure. I don't want maybe you can start with one of the discussions or one of the podcasts that stuck out to you. There's a lot of good ones.
as the
I will
editor
say.
of all of them.
Do you want to say like stuck out like because it was like deep and meaningful, or stuck out because I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I
Either
listening to right now?
either
Either
one.
one, whatever comes to
Um,
mind first when you think of like, oh, this was a good episode.
If we're going meaningful, Layla and Melody's episodes were great. Like they had me up there in the booth, just like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm okay, I'm okay. They were, it's just, I don't know, it's very interesting because I feel like a lot of people look at these kids and like they're just kids. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're doing. But when you really sit down and give them the time and listen to them, you see just what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Either just the problems they're facing. But what was really inspiring is just hearing them and seeing how much they still depend on God and how strong their faith is to, instead of being like most other kids of this generation or their generation, leaning on things of the world. They're strengthening their faith. They're going to their parents or going to you guys to actually
Yeah.
get strengthened rather than just fading. Those are really great episodes. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I don't drink soda. Doesn't mess with me right now. Now, if we're just talking about just like what is going on right now, Nayeli.
Dang.
I mean, it was a great episode. It was
She
funny to
gotta
hear, but
look
she was just
down the barrel. No, just
look.
You wouldn't
she-
think, right? You wouldn't
she,
think.
She called me out. All I'm gonna say is I apologize. It was a busy month. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You
December.
just had to go to Mexico.
Yeah. Look, I got sick as well. I had like the flu and everything. I
Mm.
was
That's
out
true.
for a while.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
you're back to.
Oh
You
yeah,
got your back.
and then yeah, I may have sprained my back. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
that was a fun time. Her just her talking about like all the demon possession and other crazy stuff and movies. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I will say, I know like I know you have some thoughts about this, but the UFO side, I want to hear her take on the UFO side of things.
You know,
I don't. Yeah, and I don't. I am interested as well.
yeah,
thing
it's
is-
just the rabbit trail that I don't like to go down.
Oh,
'cause
you
it-
don't? Oh my
It's
god.
because it's hard to get back.
I don't know that. I
You
didn't
can-
know that.
You can dive so deep in the UFO thing that we'd be lost out there for like 2 hours.
That's the
That's
reason
that's
why.
what we want to see.
That's the reason why we didn't touch on it, because we just wanted to focus on one thing, where Nayeli wanted to focus like on all the things, which is cool, but maybe dissecting it a little bit more.
Yeah, we'll hit the
Yes.
alien episode. Don't
For
worry, we'll hit the
sure.
alien episode.
Just I need you at one point to just aliens.
Alien.
I think tinfoil hats would be cute.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that for that episode we'll wear the tinfoil hats.
Okay, I need her and Greg because I was gonna say the other episode was Greg. He's just
Oh,
my goodness, that man.
Greg.
We love Greg.
So many things to say about Greg. All
Yeah.
positive.
For sure.
So to see those two sit down together would just
Oh man,
that'd be great fun.
Oh my god.
you know
I
there's
can't even
there's
imagine.
combinations of people that when like I would love to put together, not because I think it would be productive in any way, but just because like man, I want to see how
It'd be so entertaining.
wild this gets. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
The rabbit holes we get down into, yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
Were
Get down there.
were there any episodes that stuck out with you?
I think my favorite is probably going to be Little Melody, just because yeah, I mean it was
You guys have a lot in common.
we have a lot in common. We share like a similar story. I didn't I didn't know the full extent of it until like we had like fully talked about it and stuff. And it
right.
was like,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, we're pretty much here.
Mhm.
Like I know this story, and then yeah, I gotta say, I really appreciated Victoria's episode
Yeah.
as well, because it is a rare occasion where amongst teenagers there is someone mature enough to like just kind of handle gossip and be like, okay, well, I'm going to take that to the Lord, and I'm not going to create strife amongst this friend group.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know, that is a rare mark
for sure.
for sure. And I really did like that a lot.
I definitely we're recording right now. This episode is gonna air after this, but we're having our baccalaureate service where we celebrate our graduates. And two of our seniors, we had the blessing of recording them before they entered adulthood, right? And so Gabriel and Victoria really stand out to me, but just because they're graduating, and so we got them right at the end, and we got to reflect a little bit on what they had accomplished and what they had done, and just I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm gonna miss them though, for sure.
Little Gabriel, whose favorite part of VBS was recess or the games, or was it snacks?
That
I'm
boy.
working on his slides currently, and so they're very reminiscent of him and his family for sure.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, I love and then Juanito he's so smart and so informative
yes.
that it was such a good I learned a lot from that episode, and so I did like his episode. But yeah, we had like this huge age range. We had a range of personalities, a range of struggles.
Yes.
Mhm.
And so I'm glad we got to tackle those whatever came our way. And so,
Yeah,
but yeah,
yeah. It was great. I can't wait to get into some of the like changes and things in the season to come, and some of the things that we want to do and talk about.
yeah. I've been playing around with an all female episode, and so that's gonna be fun.
For the girls,
That's gonna be really fun. I'm so excited. I'm trying to figure out if I want like my gym group. I know Miss Tabitha wants to come on as well, and so we're just gonna get swole, and then we're gonna
You're
get
just
on
gonna
the
work out for the
podcast.
camera? or
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I'm just kidding.
no curls for the girls.
Yeah. No, yeah, all the curls for the girls.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah.
the girls. So, but yeah. Anything else you guys wanted to?
Mm,
I gotta give my commendations to you over here though, Tim, because you took this
sure.
on as a never edited videos really, and
Yeah.
you know we call you sound guy Tim, but you're really more than the sound guy. I mean that's like the tip of the iceberg because that's just kind of during what we're doing, and afterwards, then it's like messing with the editing and doing the shorts and adding in all the effects. I I really like, you know, like as the season has gone, like those of you that haven't gone and seen the shorts, go back and see the shorts, and you will see the progression of like like all the things that we've added to the videos and
Yeah.
like all the effects, all the little things that make it really like personable. And so I really do thank you for taking all that on, for just learning on the fly
Yes.
with us as we are learning how to do a podcast
Yeah.
ourselves. Like
For
just take it on with us. I thought that was also great. And then just like it probably wasn't as productive as it could have been, but just sitting down and like, hey, let's just figure this out together. Like, you know, we'll click all these buttons and see what looks cool, and then we'll slap it on YouTube.
Definitely. I mean, I want to thank you guys for bringing me on. I was still like kind of fresh here working at the church, and
Yeah.
again, my only experience editing was like the the sermon. So like Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday, and it was literally just boss man being like, okay, cut the beginning, cut the end, make sure he sounds good, add his name, that's it. So it was very fun and it's been very interesting. So I do thank you guys for bringing me on as well and
Of
letting me be
course.
on this journey with you. And of course, I mean, just been wild time. It's been fun. And
I didn't
Yeah.
think you were gonna get any flack this season, but
oh no, I did.
it was
Always.
almost immediate. Like I don't remember Nayeli's episode. I guess she was number 3, but she was
I think it was like 3 or 4. Yeah, because
you
I've
already
got
messed
beef,
up on
sound
the
man
3rd
Tim.
episode.
I've got beef.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, oh dang. So, but yes, we do appreciate you taking it on. We probably would have gone crazy if you hadn't.
Yeah, I think the only reason we were able to do any of this is because we've got people who know how to operate these things and do
Yeah.
cameras and do
Yeah.
sound and stuff. So it is definitely like we are just the face of a bunch of like legs and arms that are actually doing things. But
It's true.
I think it's really cool to see how you've grown in that. And then like we were kind of talking about earlier where we've seen you grow like out of high school, kind of coming through, going through college and working, doing stuff back at the old stomping grounds at Hanks.
I know.
Those
How you return
those
back
poor
there?
those poor children. I am one of them. But
So am I.
yeah.
Hank's High School Survivor.
True blue.
True blue. The
True
colors
blue.
are red and blue.
The colors are like
Wait,
black
what
and
do you-
silver. It's like true blue. Yeah, yeah. Hank Survivor.
Mm.
How has that been for you as you've kind of gone back to be a sub? Well, you were a tutor first, right? You kind of went
Yeah, I
back as
was
a
tutoring there like almost 5 years, about 5 years.
yeah.
Wow, that's a long
And then
time.
I'm subbing.
How has that kind of been seeing those kids? Because you're dealing with like unchurched kids all the time. You know, like when you're here, you see our kids, and I don't, sometimes they're a little wild. They'll say some things.
Yeah.
They use some choice language here and there, and they say some wild things, but you are like in what I consider like the biggest mission field in America,
Yeah.
which is the public high school.
Mm.
How has that been for you as you're like kind of interacting with some of them and seeing where they're at now versus like where we were in high school?
It's definitely a journey. As you said, I do agree that it is a very, very big mission field, one of the biggest we have here in the U.S. I mean, really, I guess just in any nation, but seeing these kids here, you can definitely tell things have started going downhill. Just a lot of these kids, each year they get crazier and crazier, getting into just things that we didn't even know about or think about when we were in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I say that like if we graduated at the same time. You were like a senior when I was a freshman, and I was like would have never known you passing by the hallways. But
Hey,
it's
you know
it's
what?
still
We
a
were-
much different experience.
We were within arm's reach of each other.
We were,
We were right there.
but it's definitely been a journey. Definitely learned patience there. The Lord has taught me a lot of patience in that school, and how to slowly start loving the kids that are just very difficult. Because I think the biggest thing I've noticed during my time there is that a lot of those kids, they're missing. I mean, of course, they're missing God. Like first and foremost, they're just missing God, and you can see the severe lack of Him in their lives and how it's just led them to these dark paths. We also just see a lot of the lack of parents not being there, not caring,
Yeah.
and really the lack of love. And that's what a lot of these kids are looking for. I mean, again, like everybody, they're still searching for God. They don't know it, but they're searching for God, but they're searching for that love and that attention, and they don't get it. So now they act out to get that attention.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see. It really is. But while I was there, I mean, I've done my best to connect with the kids and do right by them, but also just making sure that they learn proper life lessons and how to deal with things and how to handle with things rather than just, relying on themselves. And my goodness, the amount of fights these kids get into, it's like trying to, teach them teaching them how to respect, teachers, other peers, because, man, these kids are, they're definitely something.
It's very different. Like I've kind of been talking to you about it, but like the past 6 weeks, we were helping a parachurch ministry called Reach and Relieve, and they were putting on free lunches for
Yeah.
the Hank students for like the last month and a half. And so we go out there and we've got like a sign and we're like telling kids to like, yeah, go to the weird place behind the laundromat. Like it's got a sign that says Reach and Relieve.
The approach wasn't great, all right? I will say.
There's not a good
Go to
approach.
this
It was
warehouse.
It was
it
like
was
a 5 out of 10.
It was
Yeah,
a
the
weird
approach wasn't
location.
great.
Like there was it was an old building. It's kind of beat up. It like if you don't really know, it does look a little sketchy. All right, but I stopped saying. I was like, it was like, hey, we've got free lunch. It's just on the other side of the laundromat, not behind the
behind the
laundromat.
laundromat.
Yeah. It just sounded sketchy. But anyway, we'd invite them and we'd feed them and we share the gospel with them. And at first it was like, yeah, like 1 or 2 trickle in, and then, man, this last time I guess we had about 35, 40
Really?
because it was the
Yeah.
one lunch. It was because of all the testing and
Oh, yes, the 1 hour lunch.
yeah,
Yeah, because of teacher appreciation.
yeah.
Oh, yes, yes.
They gave
I
the
was like,
teachers an
"That's
extra
pretty
break.
cool."
Oh, yeah, I was there that day.
Were you there that Wednesday?
I think I was there that day.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, we got to minister to them.
And even just seeing them, like, the kids that dodge me, right? Because, like, I would, like, move positions along their walking path as
You
they
have
would
to.
as they would come, right?
You
And so,
have
like, at
to.
first I was kind of like, okay, I'm gonna not be, like, directly in their walking path. And I'm just here. I didn't even tell them, that we're a Christian thing, that we're doing anything. I said, hey, we got free lunch for you guys today. Just, go over here, not to the weird not behind the laundromat, it's just a building over here. And they would see me and then look down and turn, and they would like not come to the sidewalk. They would walk into the street to dodge me.
Yeah.
And then they'd have their headphones on, right? And so then I would like every week I would like encroach closer to like the street. And so they had to make a choice. They had to like come up to me or walk in traffic. Like there was no choice.
Child endangerment. Love to see it.
No.
And we experienced that even like on our mission trip that we went on. It was very similar. Like it was almost like magnets, but the opposite sides.
Yeah.
Like they tried to avoid us as much as we could, and it was like, nope, we're gonna be right here. We're
Yeah.
gonna be right there where you can't avoid us.
We are in your
I mean,
walking
yeah.
path. And yeah, but they and like just seeing them, you see so many like openly gay couples now. You see kids that are, oddly enough, I saw a lot of like kind of goth looking kids that looked like they could have gone to high school with me. They were like in the same like knee high stockings
Yeah.
and like old band shirts, and I'm like,
Yeah, there's
what do you know about that band?
there's definitely a lot of that. You see so many kids wearing pentagrams or other stuff, or just doing things, and
Yeah.
it's just there's definitely a battle going on in that school for those kids.
Right.
It's crazy to see because like I mean, not that it was like when I was in high school it was there. You had like the kids that like everyone knew, oh yeah, they're gay, but it was like maybe like the 5 to 10 in our class of like 500. You know what I mean? As I'm standing out there in the sun waving this sign around telling them there's free lunch, it's like every other couple is like, it's like, what am I looking at? You know, it is so
Yeah, it's true.
it is so different. The landscape is very different. The kids are in some ways the same, in some ways like on a different planet.
Yeah.
You know, you try to, like, we've been joking the whole season about the Gen Z dictionary, right? We're like talking about these crazy words that they're saying. And, you know, I mean, language changes, right? But that's like, it is crazy to see like just how different it gets. And I'm not that old.
Not at all.
I'm not that old. But
well,
no, don't you do it.
it's been 10 years since we've been high schoolers, so it has been a
Lord
moment.
have mercy.
It has been a moment.
I'm right behind you guys. Don't worry.
I was gonna say, how many years have you been out of high school?
What's it?
If we're 10, then
7
you're
years?
7 years.
Yeah,
7 years.
out 7.
Wow. Do you want to out yourself with the statement that you made 2 weeks ago?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, I was mid sermon and it was you know, I'm double some of your guys' age, and it was like,
No, what he said was, I don't think I am double your age, but I'm close. And then I was like, nope, you are. The freshmen
Yeah.
and younger were double their age or older. So I was like, oh man.
I remember even my first year as a tutor, I was 20, I think about to be 21.
Mm-hmm.
And here's some kids saying, like, oh yeah, man, when I get old and I'm 21. And I was like,
oh, no,
no, please, stop it.
it can't start already.
But I'm 21.
I just
Yeah.
turned 21.
That's hilarious. I
To
mean,
these kids, anybody past high school is just ancient.
yeah.
Yeah. Once teen is no longer in your name,
Yeah.
like you're out of there. You're in a hole. You're a boomer.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's true, yeah.
It's crazy.
I do have like a question. I knew you tutored, but did you do like specific subjects? Did you do all subjects?
Sometimes it was like all just wherever they needed you, but for the most part, they had me in the English classrooms.
Nice.
I told them I was a history major, and they're like, "That's nice. Go to the English classrooms." And I'm like, "Okay, sounds good."
You know, that's just the El Paso public school system
if
for
you know history, that means that you had to have read it in English, and therefore
Therefore, you can
Or
teach
read
it.
it
you
in
can
general.
teach English.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't read it in Spanish.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Our physics teacher,
Oh, Williamson.
Williams, Mr. Williamson, was the only actual physics teacher.
Yeah.
The rest of them were like chemistry or biology, but it was like, cool. You're gonna teach. You're gonna teach physics.
I had a math teacher that was that had a poetry degree. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Love
You
the
know what?
public
Yeah.
school system.
Yeah, you see a lot of that.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
that.
For sure.
Oh, you majored in poetry? Wow, you sound like you'd be great at math.
Well, she was getting lessons from the other teachers.
You're like,
And,
you
yeah.
have to count syllables and other things. So why don't you just teach these kids how to
Yeah,
do
you can
algebra?
count syllables and stanzas and
That's
all sorts of
hilarious.
stuff. You can count paragraphs and pages and words.
But
Close
yeah,
enough.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
Oh man. But yeah, it's crazy to see, and then the difference too between like the kids that come here, who are, I mean, we have a mix of like public school and high school, and then
we do.
so they have their differences, but to see these kids that are here and that are like really seeking, versus some of these kids who like they don't think about these things, and if they do, it's like in a joking manner, like oh yeah, I'll just end up in hell. It's whatever. They take it like a joke. They really just pass
It's
it around.
true.
This past time when we were at Reach and Leave, we did like questions. We were asking them.
Well, if I can correct you on that, they actually were more. They do think about like hell
Oh, yeah.
and like where they go, where not our generation, but the people that were our age, they took it as a joke for sure. And
That's true.
And you still have
Yeah.
friends that do. But no, these kiddos, they think about that stuff. I will say, like, on a side note, they were talking about Jeffrey Dahmer, which I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole, but a lot of them had the right answers. I just don't know it, and I couldn't tell because it was like a quick lunch, but I didn't know if they were saying the right answers to be right and to be right in front of us, and it or if they actually believed it. Does that make sense? I didn't know if they were just telling us the right thing so that they can get free food, and that's okay. Like, that's totally fine. But I don't know it. I think what we find in youth ministry is that what they say and what they believe is different than the way they act.
Yeah.
And so
They don't connect the two yet. It's not like I believe this, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
It's I believe this, but these are just my beliefs.
Yeah. This
And
is just so I can pass.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're right. There was a lot of that.
I couldn't tell. Like I said, it was a quick lunch. There were people that were really saying the right answers. I don't know if they like actually believed.
Mhm.
And that's what the follow-up is for, right? The follow-up is so that we could actually see where they're at. And hopefully some of those Hanks kids come on by.
Hey, at the very least, if we've planted seeds,
Mm,
then we planted seeds and we were able to, send them along the journey.
yeah.
And wherever they land, they land. I don't need to be the one that does it, but if God has me minister in their lives, then I will. And even in your position as like a tutor sub, like the little that you can share with them, right, is important.
Yeah, for sure.
In a group where it's like, there's probably like 3,000 kids in that school,
Probably.
something like that, maybe a little less. And out of that, there's going to be, a tenth or less than like 8% of them that are Christian at all or claim to be
Yes.
churchgoers at all.
Did you run into any? Like
The kids I've seen here,
no,
Or-
like kiddos that are
I think my entire
Christian.
time there, I've heard a lot of kids claim Christianity, but I've only heard like maybe one who was like, okay, you seem
Mm.
like you actually know. So many kids like got tattoos of like verses, and I'm like, that's nice. You can tattoo it on yourself, but
wait. Hold on.
yeah, kids can
Like permanent tattoos?
permanent tattoos. Yes, they were juniors. So what? You just need like a parent's permission or something like that.
Yeah, technically, yeah, you need
Oh my gosh.
man. Hanks
Multiple
survivor.
kiddos who just like they'll they'll have crosses on themselves, verses, but I'm like, do you know what this verse says? Do you know what it means? Like, do you like?
Oh my gosh.
I can do all things through a verse out of context.
Yes, I can do all things through a verse out of context. Indeed.
Oh, I love
But
that.
I'm just shocked that they, because back in our day,
Back in my
we-
day.
There was no way we were able to get tattoos. Like there was no way.
Oh, and if you had one, like it was known. Like
Well, that yeah, for sure. But like your parents had to be super chill. Or maybe the parents had no idea. But either way,
hey,
like
mom, could you sign this paper? Yeah, yeah.
exactly. And it was that one kid that was like, "Ooh, they got a tattoo." It's like crazy. But like to hear that multiple kids have that, that's interesting.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I believe it. Like honestly, like we're like, oh wow, that's crazy. But like at the same time, like no, it's kind of we're kind of there.
No,
Like in the
that-
world of homie tattoos, where like everything's pretty available. Like if I wanted to today, I could pick up a set and like give somebody a tattoo.
Yeah,
if I really wanted to.
so many kids with tattoos nowadays. There's a lot of them.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I didn't see any of those kids this past few weeks, but yeah, I would believe it. I mean, just the changes of like even the drug scene, right? Like when I was in high school, it was, like Spice had just gotten real popular. It was like the synthetic marijuana or whatever. And that was it, right? And then like pills were kind of like, everyone was just trying to get their hands on weed and alcohol. And we were trying to live like the Wiz Khalifa life, trying to be like high and drunk and just party all the time because we're just young, dumb, broke high school kids. Can I? No, I didn't sing it, so it's okay. We didn't have to do copyright.
It's true.
But
Thing is like you said Wiz Khalifa, and that's Khaled.
oh, that is wow.
Even see,
Back in my day. Yeah. Sorry, I'm gonna continue to age myself here.
Oh my
That's okay,
gosh.
that's okay.
But the drug scene was different. Like now, even talking to some of the guys who used to come to Greg's Bible study, who you didn't get to meet, entirely different. I mean, it's prescription pills. It's it's all these like weed and alcohol are cute.
Yeah.
It's like that's like, oh yeah, you're still doing that. It's like what?
Yeah, no, that
What do
problem
you
has
mean?
become it's ridiculous. It's insane to see. It's kind of hard to believe, but it's kind of really bad. There's so many kiddos who are doing that. So many kids there who are selling and pushing this stuff.
Oh man.
It's just it's really bad.
Hmm.
It's
That's
stuff you
crazy.
you wouldn't believe because I mean they're in our eyes you're like they're kids, like they shouldn't be doing this, but so many kids are just involved in that. And I mean you see it on the news here and there, so many kids getting killed over these things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's interesting. I didn't know that either. That
Yeah.
he had run into that.
Yeah, man. It just goes to show, right, how much we need to really be in the high schools and really be
Yeah.
Yeah.
like trying to reach this generation, right?
Yeah.
They're the ones that are going crazy right now. They're the ones that are in most need of guidance and love and care and all the things that Christ provides for us.
Yeah. For sure.
I mean, I know we do joke with them a lot, but I really do want to commend our kiddos here because, yes, they have their mistakes. They're kids. Everybody has mistakes. Everybody does stuff. But honestly, just seeing the path that they're on, and again, after a lot of the recordings with some of these kids, it's very inspiring and encouraging to see. Because when you go, to the public schools, you see that, and you come here and you see the other side, and it's just like, okay, now if we can just do this to everyone else.
Everyone else, yeah. If everyone else could just hop in.
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
What were you, I guess, kind of dealing with when you were going through? Because yeah, you were a freshman
Mhm.
when I was a senior graduating.
Yeah.
How was that like? How was that 4 years for you?
I mean, I guess I didn't really see too much of that when I was there, just because I was in like the nerdy groups. I was like the kid sitting in the corner. Legit, my senior year, one of my friends was eating in the hallways, and I went to the cafeteria, so I ate by myself really quick to like go sit with him, like play guitar, do whatever. Apparently, I didn't eat quick enough because this couple came up to me and were like, do you have any friends? Like, here, we'll sit with you. Like, are you okay? And I was just like, oh boy, how do I let me get out of here. Let me go.
I'm trying to do what you're doing to me to someone else.
Yeah. So that wasn't my experience. Like, yeah, you still see high school drama and other stuff, but my experience was, I would say, very tame. Because like when school finished, I went home. That was it. Like I didn't into any of that. I know, like, I knew kids who like maybe got into stuff like that, but even them, like, the stuff they got into just pales like in comparison to what kids are getting into now.
Yeah. Yeah. So you were just doing what you were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, when that bell rang, I was out. I was gone. Went home, played my video games, and that was it.
There you go.
Oh my gosh.
There you go. He didn't get infected by the Hanks virus.
No.
I mean, hey, you know what? A survivor for through and through.
True blue.
True blue.
Oh
But
man.
wow, that's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have guessed. I just,
Wow, she would have just called you a nerd without knowing.
That's okay.
Wow.
I got called that
that.
so many times in high school.
Not that you were a nerd, just
I
like
was.
compared to his testimony and yours, wildly different.
Well, but I guess you also had parents that were going to put the fear of God into you.
Yeah. For the most part, yeah.
there was no playing around for you.
Yeah. I mean, I had that. Had another church in town that
We shall not speak.
we
of.
shall not speak of, but
That's funny.
Yeah.
But their influence on you also made you not like that, but had that effect on you to where you didn't do any
yeah, I
of
think
the
so.
vices, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it kind of pulled me toward the edge, but it also kept me like not there. Like I also didn't go off the deep end the way a lot of kids have gone into, but I also didn't go to like, I'll just call it out, legal crazy high legalism and
Yeah.
other sides of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting called out in front of the congregation by the pastor, like kind of church, like that wasn't. It was crazy times.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and then I guess that's a good transition into like some of the more recent struggles that we've kind of walked with you
Mm.
through, where you did kind of have we'll call it a legalist stint.
I guess.
We'll call it a little bit. It wasn't like, you weren't trying to crucify people who were
Oh, no.
not, who were smoking cigarettes out in the parking lot or whatever, but like, you were you had some struggles of like figuring out what was like allowable and what was like an absolute.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess I wouldn't go that far. I would just say it was a very thorough examination of what am I listening to, what am I watching, what am I filling my mind with.
Yeah.
Because I really just did start seeing the effect of like a lot of people don't think about it. It's like what we watch, what we listen to, that really fills your mind, and you start thinking on those things. So I wanted to re-examine like, okay, what am I, what music, what TV shows, what games, what what am I doing, and that it definitely helped me out. But I did go a little extreme for a second there.
There was a little time. I was gonna say it was.
Yeah, it was a little time. It was very, very little, but we're good. We're here today.
We're good.
We're good now, right? What were like? What were some of the things? Let's get into it a little bit. I guess just. I mean, like we don't have to get into like crazy detail, right? But like, I know there is.
No, I need the date and time.
Need the date and
Struggle. No,
time.
I'm just
I don't know.
Because I know
date and time.
I like I told you. I mean, we had kids that were kind of struggling like on the music end, but on like it affects everything. Just all the things that we see, that we listen to.
Yeah.
They influence you one way or another. It's not like you can just like. It's not like it's just in and out.
No,
It always
not.
has like some kind of effect. And so like what were the things you were trying to, I guess, work through?
I guess we'll start with music. It was just definitely some of the metal. Like again, I always made sure to not listen to anything just like overtly satanic or just crazy. But after a while, there's somewhere I was like, it's not satanic, it's not any of that, but it's also just not really good either, and it kind
Yeah.
of serves no purpose, and just pushes you maybe a bit more dark. So I was like, okay, let's drop this. Let's
Maybe
leave
no
this
maybe no
behind.
Lorna Shore. You
No,
know,
and no pig squeals.
no pig squeals.
As cool as it sounds, I will admit that was what got me there. It was all the instruments. It was very much that argument of like, I'm not listening to the lyrics, I'm not listening to that. I'm here for like the instruments.
This is
but-
technical
For the
good
vibe.
music.
But when you really do like think
For
about it, at the
the
end of the day,
vibe.
like even if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, they stick with you. All that sticks with you and changes
Yeah.
you just in ways you don't even realize. So that was more the music side of things. Shows. I mean, I don't think I really dumped too many shows. I guess I guess I'll expose myself. Like I'm an anime watcher, and I stuck to the more like basic like shonen. Like okay, like your shows. I'm like this is fine, but they're also like just so much garbage in the anime world that I was like, yeah, I'm just I mean, let me just get off these apps. Like, let me get off Crunchyroll. I'm not watching this, but like, I just don't even want to see it.
Yeah,
I just got off it.
Anime is one of those I'm not very familiar with, but I do know that there's,
Yeah.
some interesting ones that maybe
wildly inappropriate.
I know kiddos should never touch.
Yeah.
But if you're a man and you're an adult, you definitely need to be careful watching those.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I stuck to like your basic stuff, like your One Piece,
Mm-hmm.
Naruto, which some people probably have a
I
problem
just
with.
want to see the stretchy pirate man punch another pirate man.
Exactly, but even if you tried to see just that, like just the stuff that the AI, the algorithms, whatever it is, like feeds you, is like, nah, I'm okay. I don't,
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a
Right.
ton of that, right? The fan
Yeah.
servicey junk that's like,
yeah.
what did this have to do with anything we were just talking about?
Like, give me the pirates fighting. I
wanted
want
to
to see the
I
pirates
wanted
fighting.
to see I wanted to see Goku blast this guy into space. I didn't need all these extra things.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
So there was that. There was what? Games. I mean, do you want me to list the games or?
I mean, you don't have to go down the whole list, right? But just some of the things, I guess, within the game, right? Because I remember it was Persona that was one of the big ones, right? That was like,
Persona and The Witcher.
oh yeah, The Witcher. Yeah, I mean that one's a little more obvious.
we
Yeah,
didn't want you to
yeah.
name it, but you're gonna
Look,
name
I'll
it. No,
say it.
just
I'll say
kidding.
it. Just to warn kids out there. Don't those games. Just stay away.
No Baldur's Gate.
No, I didn't touch Baldur's Gate. That game was.
I don't know any of that either. So like,
Yeah, I just know things like by proxy because I was
very much so.
I was the like Halo Reach kid until like 3 a.m. and then crash for 3 hours, go to school, come back.
Oh boy.
True.
I was like top rank in Halo Reach. It was
He
the
was
good
a
old days.
Fortnite. He was a Fortnite guy too.
I did grind.
Well,
some,
yeah, we grinded Fortnite.
Oh, there you go.
the Fortnite season 1. I was there.
We were there. Yeah.
As an adult, though, I
Okay, but Fortnite came out later. That's not my fault. If it had come out as a kid, I probably would have been grinding that as a kid.
there you go. See,
But we
you,
played real games as kids.
You heard it here first.
We played real shooters as kids. Back when Black Ops was good and back when Halo was peak.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's when it was nice and toxic. You had your headset on and every slur that has ever been created was said over those microphones.
Lovely.
It's where men were made.
No.
That is
not at all.
not-
No.
You're gonna have to put a disclaimer on that
I'm gonna
one.
have to put a disclaimer on that one. Yes.
Ain't
yes,
no
I will.
way.
Ain't no
It's where men were made.
I'll just cut that one out.
Yeah, thank But
No.
so I don't know about these video games. Can you like vaguely let
For
the
those-
audience
for those that don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, Witcher's more just like dark fantasy and like
Oh, I
magic and
see.
stuff. So I was like, okay, like I shouldn't. Like it probably just shouldn't.
You get ties into the occult world and
Yeah, so I'm
some
like,
of the
okay, I'll just-
spells and some of the
Yeah.
magic.
So I was, I mean, I think I started that game like 4 or 5 times and played like an hour, and then I was like, like I never got past it, and I was like, you know what? I'll drop it.
There you go.
I'll drop it. Persona, same thing. Just a bit of like, if you don't know, then you're just like, okay, like I'm just playing like a cool game. But then like when you start looking deeper, you're like, oh no, like this is also still like very heavily occult. So I just dropped that as well.
Mm. Nice.
I mean, I honestly came out the other side of Nintendo, man. So now I'm just playing like Mario and Zelda and stuff.
You know?
Surprise, Mario is a Satanist.
Imagine.
Oh, that's why he's red. Okay,
That's why, his
that's why
outfit's
he's red.
He goes
You
down
heard it
and
here first.
he-
No, just kidding.
Mario is a Satanist.
What's
he
crazy though is that both of you have orders for the Switch 2 coming in. So I don't know.
I don't know what
We're
you're
not
talking
going to
about.
the midnight launch together. Come on.
We're not taking the day off to play all day.
I thought you guys were.
What?
What's
I
crazy?
don't know what you're talking about.
Big Dog didn't make fun of us for that.
Crazy.
I thought you guys were planning holy things, but no, you're planning out your days off.
We're
so you
planning
can play video-
fellowship.
Wow,
Come
you
on.
guys are planning in front of Sam.
No,
No, he heard
just,
us.
He
He
just
heard
likes
us.
to listen
Oh,
through
I
his
see.
thin office walls.
Got it.
He didn't have anything else to do that day.
Got it. For sure. Okay. I do like that you came out a Nintendo man. I mean, that's just nostalgia for me, so love Nintendo.
Yeah. I think, all of it's like tied in, right? As we're,
Mm.
the more you spend time on all of these things, like there's an argument, right, that says that anything that is not like reading your Bible, listening to like hymns from the 1600s, and and praying Like anything outside of those three activities is not allowable, right?
Yeah.
If you like, depending on who you really talk to, because in
Mhm.
all technicality, if it's not of God, it's of the devil. If we're gonna really like take it to the letter of the law,
Mhm.
and I think that's where like you were at, and I think that's where a lot of people like when you try
Yeah.
to like, okay, I really want to live for Christ,
Yeah.
and I really want to take this seriously, and you'll hear videos or you'll hear different sermons or whatever that are like, I mean, even Greg, right? Even our youth pastor was like, you can't serve God with the devil's toys in your back pocket,
Yeah.
and that's all true. But then you have to get the Christian liberties into play, and you have to like make those lines.
Yeah.
And we talk about all the time here in the office how people draw weird lines for different things. We were just talking about it before we started recording.
Mhm.
That's funny.
There
What
was
lines?
it was the worship line. It was like the word, like, what is worship music?
Oh, okay.
It was those lines, right? So there's
Got it.
people that like, what Sean lovingly calls the Jesus is my boyfriend music.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of vaguely talking about how I love Jesus and
And Heaven Meets Earth.
yeah.
That-
Heaven meets earth with that
And with-
sloppy wet kiss.
Oh. What's horrible is I love those songs.
I-
I love those music. I love that music. Like I
Yeah.
just
And then it's like, okay, so then you have to decide, okay, is this worship music where we do it in church where everyone can sing this and everyone's
that's the
comfortable with this?
difference.
Or is this Christian music that is like, it's cool for me. Like there's songs that Sean has told me like, yeah, I'll listen to these personally,
Yeah.
but I would never do them like in a corporate worship setting where we are together
yeah.
all worshiping, because he has a different idea of worship.
Mhm.
I have a different idea of worship where it's not like the Jesus is my boyfriend music, but it's also like, it's almost like indie,
Very
what
much
me and
so.
Oscar call like hippie worship.
Yeah.
So it's like the Grey Havens recently. It's like Lovekin,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
where they're taking like old, like new spins on old hymns,
Oh, okay.
and so it's like it's really cool
Yeah.
because it's like these redone hymns. Like the Sing Team
Mhm.
is one that I've liked a lot recently, and those are cool. And you can kind of do them in church, like if you work it out. But like sometimes you can't do those because they're kind of like
They're a little too technical. A
Yeah.
little too articulate. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and
I-
so it's
I
cool
do
to
like-
listen to, but not like for worship during like a service.
Yeah.
And so like we were talking about those lines, right? Like because like there's no like Paul didn't say that this is what is worship music
Yeah.
and this is what is not. Jesus didn't say like this is what I want you to do on a Sunday
I
morning.
was gonna say a band, and I was gonna be that is not worship. But no, we won't call out any bands
No.
today.
Only what we like. But
As much as I would like to see them play War of Ages, I know it's never gonna happen.
dude, if we got War of Ages to do a concert here, like
Nah, bro, I need to see Charlie. Just,
oh, get on the keys with him.
just, just transpose it to just be real keyboard and
Yes.
That's funny.
And see like stuff like that, like you gotta like churchify it,
yeah.
right? And then every church has a different line for like what is worship and what is not, and like what
Mhm.
they'll sing together and what they won't.
Yeah.
And so when you're really trying to buckle those things down for yourself, right, where you're trying to decide like, okay, like I want to live for God, I don't want to have all this fluff, I don't want to have all these things that are dishonoring to God or that would make others stumble,
Yeah.
Then when you get down the line, it's like, oh my God, everything is dishonoring. It's all of it is, none of this is Christian, and it's like
Dishonor.
even the very nameless, like harmless seeming stuff. Like when you look up the people who make it,
Mm-hmm.
it turns into like, oh, these are Mormons, or these are Satanists or whatever. Like there was cartoons that I grew up watching, and it was like, like they were just it's whatever. But then you look in the credits, and it's got like weird stuff, and it's got
Yeah.
like the creators are like
Yeah.
openly like
Yeah.
satanic or something, and it's like,
Didn't know any of this until Greg.
what?
Remember he came for that Halloween a few years ago, and I was sitting there just like, oh, oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, like even in Call of Duty, right? He showed some of the video game stuff too. I don't know if
I don't think I was there for that one.
No, when we were in youth, he showed us some of the symbols that are within like the Call of
Zombies,
Duty.
right?
Oh yeah, like,
I
in the,
had,
like
I had
the,
another buddy tell me about that one.
the Nazi zombie thing, like how they come back to life and how Hitler was trying to find like magic to help him
Yeah.
win the war.
Yeah.
And some of that stuff got tied into the video game. And if you don't really know history or anything, like you wouldn't make the connection.
Yeah.
But then you see it and you're like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Like this is really
Yeah.
bad.
There was he connected it to a lot of pop culture.
Oh, there's a ton.
Like the not the latest one that I remember, but let's say like the earliest memory I have of him doing those slideshows was like the Super Bowl performances. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Really?
oh my gosh.
I never pay attention to those.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, okay, it's break time. We can go get more food.
They've
It's
never
break,
been
get more
good.
food. It's break time.
they've never been good in a spiritual sense. Now they're kind of just leaning on like a
Yeah.
performance-wise mediocre at best.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like he connected it to anything and everything, and so yeah, it's all out there
Yeah.
for sure.
It's very out there. And then when you make the decision, like you have to decide like where you're drawing those lines. Like you and God really almost need to sit down together, and it's like, okay, like where can I still give you honor in some of these things?
Yeah.
And like, what do I need to stay away from? Because like there are things that, like I wouldn't watch because it would like lead me back to some of my old sin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I know people that will still watch that stuff, and it's like
Yeah. to
it's
them,
whatever for them. You know what I mean? Like it has no effect on them, or at least they say it doesn't,
Mhm.
and they just move on. Where no, this is I have to draw this line here.
Yeah.
But they will continue.
Yeah.
And so it takes a lot of time and discernment to really like
Yeah.
lay out those lines. And when we were like talking to you about these things, you were like, it was like going, you were almost going a little crazy with it
and-
sometimes.
A little bit. It did drive me a little crazy sometimes. And now that I think about it, interesting tidbit. I am so sorry, Greg. It was actually War of Ages. Now that I remember, it was War of Ages. I was reading his book, War of Ages.
Oh,
or
I
War
Which
of
you can
Ages.
find now on Amazon.
Oh my god.
It was his book, and I was reading it, and it was just like
Shameless plug.
seeing how much stuff is like tied to the occult or tied to other things that I was sitting and I was like, oh man, I can go home and clean house. Like things that I didn't even like buy that I was like, oh, I knew it was this. It's just things we don't know. So many things just so pervasive in
Yeah.
culture now that I had no idea. And then I started reading his book, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, dang, like what am I doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to make the decisions, and then you have to like stick to it.
Yeah.
Where like some people are either still figuring it out or they have a different line than you.
Yeah.
And so then you're stuck in the place of like, okay, what is the line?
Yeah, I mean,
Because then some people like they're like the easy one, right? Is some people will still drink
yeah,
as Christians. And
I was
then
like, that's an easy one. But
well, not that
yeah.
it's easy, but it's just the most prevalent, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the most general. Because like video games and music doesn't always like hit everyone, right? But like drinking,
yeah.
right? We're told to be sober
Mm-hmm.
and vigilant,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't really be sober and vigilant if you are also
Inebriated.
drinking,
Mhm.
inebriated. Yeah. So there's the camp that says none, absolutely none, because we were told to be sober and vigilant. And then there's the camp that's like, don't be drunk, have a sip. You can have your own.
Always quoting Paul, being like, "Here, drink a little for your stomach." To me.
Yeah.
Always
no,
quoting-
really, they
They
do.
do, they
They
do.
do. They quote the
That's
have a little wine for your
funny.
frequent infirmities, and it's like, oh, nice, we can drink wine.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've seen
And
that.
that's it. No.
And then they don't realize that wine back then was not fermented
You
and
know-
as strong as it is today.
I went to
Yeah.
a service this past Sunday or yesterday, I guess. I completely forgot that they still serve wine for
Yes.
communion, and
Oh,
I was
yes,
like,
some do. Yeah.
Some churches still serve
it
actual
shocked
wine for
my
communion.
taste buds a little bit. I was a little
You're
like
used to the
taken
grape juice
aback.
we do here.
Yeah. And
Why is it
so,
spicy?
very much so. I was like, oh. And then I completely forgot where I was, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, it's
No,
11
it's-
a.m. No.
I
Yeah, that one's crazy to me. It's like 11 a.m. You know what, guys? You know what we need right now?
need some wine.
Shots.
Basically,
Shots.
Basically what they do.
Wine.
Crazy.
So-
No, I I definitely see what you mean about drawing the lines and just having to completely just remove some things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, that buddy I mentioned earlier, I'm not gonna name his name. There's some music that he'll listen to that he's like, okay, like I can still listen to that. And me, like all the band shirts I had from that group, music,
Mhm.
everything, CDs. One day I just got it, threw it in the trash can.
And his name
And-
is no. I'm just
No,
And his name rhymes with no.
yeah. So like I got rid of it,
Wow.
and then
Yeah.
I walked inside and my dad was like, and
For
I
reals?
was like, all right, calm down, Dad, calm down, calm down.
Yeah.
It was all.
Yeah, he was like, for
Water.
years. He's like, for years I've been trying. I was like, look, I was like, it's okay.
Wow.
It's all right.
There you go.
And everyone has to make those choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and then I you know, I love where you're at now, where we've come past it and we're not doing like the guys of my sin. Like you know, like we're good.
It wasn't that bad, all right?
No, it wasn't
I
that
know,
bad.
I'm hamming it up, right?
wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad, but you know, there are people that do get to that extent. I mean, I had a kid specifically that would call me sometimes, and he'd be like, "Hey, you know what? I did this today. Am I still Christian? Am I still saved?" Because then it leads down that road.
Yeah, it does.
When you get on this path of like the Christian liberties of like, okay, what absolutely can't I do, and what's gray, and what should I do, and what does God want me to do, like all these things, you almost land in like I can lose my salvation
Mhm.
if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I would have that call and I'd be like 45 minutes trying to walk a kid down the cliff. It's like, no. You're okay. You're okay. Like you said a
Come
bad
back.
word.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Mm.
You know, we are supposed to remove filthy language from us, but like one slip of a cuss word's not going to send you to hell. You're okay. Let's come down the mountain
Yeah.
and let's keep walking. And it can lead there. Like if you don't do it in a healthy way, where you're just like, you just start chopping.
Yeah.
And chopping and like, and then you
Kinda
like,
ease into it.
yeah, if you just chop everything and then you just try to live this very pious life that is like, I am not going to do anything wrong. When you fail to realize that you are still a sinner.
Yeah.
And you are all fall short of the glory of God. And then when they mess up, it's like, it's catastrophe.
Yeah.
Because then, oh man, I messed up. I took all these things out of my life and I still messed up. You know, I'm not doing enough. I might not even be a Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll admit it to you guys right here. I was kind of getting like on the edge of that.
Yeah.
And then I can't remember what it was. Just like one day, like I was watching like YouTube and stuff, and then like a video came up of like some guy going through the same thing, and they gave him Romans 7. You know, Paul being like, the good that I would want to do, I don't do, and the evil I don't want to do, that I do. You know, oh wretched man that I am. And I was just like, oh dang, like it sit there, and like that really kind of helped me and brought me back to like, okay,
How did
like,
that bring you back?
because like
Who will deliver me from the body of this death?
Oh, I
Jesus.
see,
And so it's
okay.
just like I see that like, okay, like it's not even our own strength. Like yes, we're going to do things. I mean, it's probably not the best thinking also, but I'm like, okay, if Paul, an apostle,
I mean,
has these struggles, it's like, okay, like I'm not gonna say it's okay, like it's good, like to go do these things, but it's like we're going to have our mistakes, we're gonna have our slip ups, but it's again ultimately not even depending on ourselves, but it's depending on Christ to, you know, pick us up, cleanse us, and do these things, you know.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, when you stopped there, I was like,
Yeah, my bad.
how is that
My bad.
helpful?
I'm sorry. My mind goes like
I can do all things through a verse out of context.
Yeah, I was like, how
No,
is
no.
that helpful? It's not even that it was out of context. I was like, just how was that helpful?
My
But
bad.
no,
I forgot
okay,
to
I got
complete
it.
it.
If Paul messes up, I'm gonna mess up.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I think that's it. Unless you guys have anything
Oh,
else.
I mean, I'm sure we could go on and on forever, right?
for
But
sure.
I
5-hour
think
episode.
I think we should hit our cap here and just close it off again with, you know, thank you for doing all our crazy editing
Yes.
for while you are like actively trying to like do other things. Like we literally stole you from Oscar.
Ah,
That's okay.
It was like, yeah, he's not gonna have you doing anything on Mondays, right? Like just come on. Like
I will say I do want to mention Oscar because people are probably wondering like, well, if Tim's over here,
Hey, yeah,
on this
if-
Who's in the
side,
booth?
yeah, who's in the booth? And so
yeah,
yeah,
where Oscar like was kind and gracious to us to
Yeah.
take time out of his day to let Tim do this episode, and that was also great.
yes.
But
So,
But no, thank you, Tim, for just being an amazing example for, being the kid who came through youth and then kept coming to church and kept serving and going through the struggles, which we all do,
Yeah.
but still landing and still pursuing, and even in the places where you probably messed up, it was like, okay, well, I just got to keep moving.
Mhm.
And, I as much as you're not like in the room youth leader, we consider you an honorary youth leader
Oh, for
Thank you.
sure.
for the good that you try to do over at Hank's and for helping us with these videos, for driving with me all the way back from
Oh,
San
yeah.
Antonio
From San
For the-
with a
Antonio.
bunch of
The
monkeys.
Bucky's trip.
Yeah,
Yep.
the Bucky's trip, the sacred Bucky's trip after mission
It's
trip.
not idolatry, Oscar. Stop
It's
it.
not idolatry. I didn't burn the candle that I bought from Bucky's.
Didn't burn the candle.
That's still in my closet.
Is it
Yeah.
a Bucky shaped candle?
It's just Bucky's. It's the nugget scented.
the
Oh.
beaver nuggets.
I've heard that wasn't great.
But
So, but yes, thank you. And then
Yes.
thank all of you guys
we,
for watching.
we appreciate all the views and just that you guys watch and tune in. We are going to take a small break over the summer just because things here at our church are very busy during the summer, and it just kind of competes when it comes to recording and
Yeah.
editing and doing things. So we will pick up, God willing, in the fall. We're gonna have a little change of scenery. We're gonna switch some things up and
Yeah.
try to make some upgrades if at all possible.
Yeah.
But until then, this
We'll
has
see you.
this has been another episode of the Broken Together podcast, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.